Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, in case you are not aware, DnF Duel, the Dungeon Fighter online fighting game, has finally come out of hibernation. And actually, there's been a deluge of trailers happening. I believe it was sometime in September I made a video saying what exactly happened to this game, as they made a bunch of announcements like, you know, here's the game, here's some gameplay, all that kind of stuff, and then went completely and totally radio dark. And now that time is definitely well over, as we're seemingly getting a new trailer every couple of days. So the purpose of this video is basically just to break down some of the info we now know thanks to these trailers, and also when can we expect more news. So first off, when we can expect more news, because we don't have a release date or platforms or anything yet, right? We just have these small trailers to work with. December the 19th is the big yearly Dungeon Fighter Festival. Last year's festival is when the game made its debut, so standing to reason this year's festival, we're going to get quite a bit more to work with. Now that they are ready to show off the game again, this is where I expect we will get all those exact details. What consoles? I'm assuming Xbox, PC, PlayStation, that kind of stuff, a proper release date, and any other info like rollback netcode, which I'm assuming, like, they're using the Strive engine after all, so it should be good for rollback netcode, and any other details to work with. December 19th is the day I feel we'll be learning a lot about this game. Until then though, except for what's in these trailers, we're sort of light on details, so we can only go by what is given. And unfortunately, these trailers, while cool, they definitely show off neat stuff. They don't give us a lot to work with. They're all fairly short, although I will do my best to break them all down. As for particulars of certain game mechanics and all that is purely speculation until they give us more info. That said though, you can definitely glean a couple things, and obviously enough just by looking at it. The game's just as beautiful as Strive ever was. Arc System Works definitely knows how to make a good looking game. So for the trailer breakdowns here, let's start with the latest trailer as of this time, the Striker. All these characters are based off the classes of Dungeon Fighter Online, and this is your martial arts lady class. A bit reminiscent of Jam from Guilty Gear, if I gotta be honest. So first thing here, and you're gonna notice this in a lot of the trailers, you'll see a barrage of attacks followed by a bit of a yellow flash into something else. This potentially looks like a cancel mechanic, more than just canceling a normal into a special move, but rather potentially even canceling a special move into a special move. Without knowing a lot of the details of like how meter works, how just general combat works, it's hard to suss out exactly one-to-one what this could be, but definitely it is canceling something into something else at the bare minimum. Now another thing you're going to see in a couple of these trailers is a dishonest jump cut. You see the red flash here, and then it's an actual scene change. I know it looks like it's a continuation of the other move, but if you look at the stage in the background, like it's completely shifted differently. So they're actually cutting to a completely different scene in the fight. From this uppercut style of move, you can see once again, here's that yellow cancel. So canceling out of the move, going to a series of kicks. So whatever the yellow mechanic is, you can say like a Roman cancel or whatever, it's definitely somehow canceling your move that's already pre-established into a completely different move. In the Striker's case anyways. Next, we see a little bit of a dive kick and gets a combo from it. The yellow cancel into the traditional shoulder block style of move you see in a million fighting games, all Badgie Quan user stuff. But you can see it's a cancel into a cancel into a cancel. We hit our first shoulder check, and then from there, we cancel that into a kick move and cancel into another shoulder check. So whatever this cancel mechanic is, you definitely have free and liberal use of it. This looks to be a basic forward throw right here. And you can see the other character, they flash while rolling backwards, so that's probably some sort of wake-up mechanic. And here we get a decent idea of combo structure. So low to launch, poke, and then relaunch. Follow through with the launcher, might be automatic. Bunch of jabs just to hold them in place for the yellow cancel into our special ender. Sort of has the makings of a B&B combo, I guess you could say. Then we get our big cinematic super. Everyone has one of these, and she's basically just rushing down and beating your ass, to put it succinctly, with a big strike finisher, and that is the Striker class. Almost certainly of everyone shown, this will be your rushdown / mix-up class. Thing I like about these classes though is to give you a good idea of what they do just based off their name, because next up we have the Grappler. Spoilers for the Grappler, he's the guy who throws you around. Rocking the very serious Karate Man look, looking a little dangerous with the whole black and yellow motif. Of everyone presented, he's basically Opening up, we can definitely tell by this trailer and the other ones, this definitely works on like a Gatling or chain combo system. And here is the command grab. Gives you the old judo toss so hard you spin, and then the big boot. We see some manner of dive kick and pressure afterwards. And the idea I'm getting from this fact that he's attacking immediately after is that he's, well, plus on block. Going into super slow-mo, he begins the first frame of his punch while she's still in block stun, so the move is definitely plus on block. Now here's another nasty jump cut. We see the kick connect, and then it transfers to a completely different scene where the kick launches. So I don't know what it's supposed to be telling us there, but it's definitely a nasty jump cut. Either way, the kick launches, and then we have an air grab. I don't know if this is like an editing mistake in the trailer, but it is what it is, I guess. Either way, air grab confirmed. Next up, we get this really nasty looking tackle. Giant red sparks. Everything just looks mean and scary. The hit spark too, big red circle. Definitely looks like a move you don't want to mess with. No wall bounce, but definitely looks like he might recover before she lands. So perhaps there's some juggle potential for combos there. This whole setup is quite interesting as well. So this begins with a command grab. And during the second part, the second hit, if you will, of this command grab right there, he has the yellow cancel into the big stomp, which we saw, which misses, sure, but I think that's very much intentional as he's trying to create a reset. As she recovers just pretty much immediately, and he attacks right after the fact, and then we go into our very big cinematic. Sorta reminds me of the big fight finale against Jiren in Dragon Ball Super, because you're bouncing off these rocks, and you got the big dive kick, right? Frieza and Goku did right into someone's back. Definitely reminiscent. Get the big text flash, let you know this move was the real deal, and well, that's the grappler. Big command grabs, plus on block moves, that's my kind of guy. Now next up, the Inquisitor, and I dig this character. Holy Warrior with a big F off FU battle axe, that's good, I dig it. So our first sequence, we see more chain combos here, so once again, definitely Gatling or chain style combo system. And from there, the bottom part, I'm assuming some sort of sweep, launches, and they further launch up, and we go into our yellow cancel, which is canceling the animation one way or another, into a bit of a flame pit. We have another jump cut here, and this is a bit of an oddity. So this time around, we get another yellow flash, but it's not based off of anything, it's just done by itself. But the move looks extra nasty. So it could be that this is an EX or enhanced otherwise style of move. So yellow flash can be done either for cancels or for EXs. Maybe, perhaps. We don't know the rules yet, so we can only guess. More interesting stuff as well as we have this little sequence here. So it's a launcher and they spike the enemy down. And when we land, we throw, I guess I would say holy water. That's a classic, I guess, for the Inquisitor Paladin / type, throw holy water. And it rejuggles the enemy. And then we get this horrific thing, this flaming torture rack move. Once again, we see the yellow flash not canceling from anything else. So assuming that this is an EX move, but it is definitely terrifying looking. Also, just on top of the vicious look, you can seemingly juggle after the fact, and it has roughly 75 to 80% screen range. Whatever this move is, looks pretty good to me. I guess it has a little bit of a slow startup, but wow, this is really impressive. And speaking of impressive, so we have that move and then it goes directly into, I'm assuming, our super. So we see a bunch of cinematic hits and then camera cut. And now we're on a burning pyre a la Joan of Arc here. And the Inquisitor, I guess, says one last prayer. And then it's sayonara. I gotta say, I like this character. This character is savage. This whole move here is one of the coolest moves ever. I love it. Hard to get a grasp on the overall character game plan, but whatever the game plan is, it's cool. And the last character we have for now is the Berserker. And Berserker is big crazy person with an even bigger sword. As for the moveset as well, Berserker, well, that sounds about right. So our first thing we get here is seemingly some chain normals into a special, our yellow cancel canceling into another special move. So it looks like you can do whatever chain combo, special, and then if you have meter or whatever resource this yellow cancel desires out of you, you can freely go into that pretty much at any point. This guy here looks to be a forward throw, a basic throw. This is interesting here as he's definitely glowing when he's charging forward. Now, as for the particulars, is this like a stance, an install, a buff, or whatever? Don't know. But he goes for this big leaping slam, which definitely has a pretty big hitbox and launches the enemy. In our next sequence here, we see some basic strikes, and this guy right here creates a bit of a cross slash with blood, basically. It would seem to be this move persists past him going into whatever he's going to next. He does walk forward and goes yellow cancel, so I guess that's an EX move. Next up here, we have this giant vacuum style move, perhaps. This big spiral definitely looks like it has a lot of range, and have a giant home run swing afterwards. So the style of move might very well be it vacuums you in and then slams you back out. And our last detail here is the big cinematic super. So he hits you and then becomes like a blood demon slash dragon and kind of bites you around, slams you to the ground. Certainly very visually impressive at the very least. And that's all we know for the characters right now. Once again, the big Dungeon Fighter Festival is December the 19th. We still have one more character to go, the Gunslinger, at least for the characters we know of, because I gotta assume there's more than 5 characters. And December the 19th, it seems like that's the place where a lot of questions will be answered. Still a lot of mysteries to be answered, to be sure. We know now a little bit more about the game. There's seemingly a cancel mechanic at the very least. Game looks pretty as all get out. The game looks absolutely beautiful, but I guess at this point we should expect nothing less from Arc System Works. And even though it's definitely been a long time since we got any info, we are definitely getting that info now. And the dam has definitely been burst as far as like just releasing info, as we're getting these trailers every few days at this rate. There's still one more character, this character specifically here, the Gunslinger, but we'll hopefully know more about him shortly. That all said, I'm just happy they're showing off stuff finally after all this time, and hopefully and seemingly enough, it won't be too much longer before we get next real big info dump. Till that time, that's the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some DnF Duel.